Welcome back to Cover 3. If you didn't set your clocks, it's not 9:41, it's 8:41. Just for all you people who still not got through with daylight saving time, it's still the same cast. Atticus is away in Seattle, but it's me, Shay, Mike on my right, and James on the far right corner. So
yeah, I've got a lot of room with Atticus gone. So
I'll tell you what a guy.
Atticus?
Yeah, did we even get an invite?
I know.
He's flying so much.
He went back home to Seattle, probably going to see some sort of show of his. Seeing family, but probably mainly for the show of his. But yeah, no invite. We could have let him use the Cover 3 jet, but that.
I know.
Yeah.
We even pulled the tarp off that thing to break it out and to kind of loosen the gears and stuff like that. We should go flying sometime.
We should. Get your passports ready.
I'll tell you, because we got that company credit card.
Yeah.
We start using that and accumulate some points soon.
Mm-hmm.
We can start,
frequent Cover 3 miles.
We could have that lobster dinner on that plane.
That's true. We could.
That's right. Champagne on the plane.
Uh-huh.
But what we're getting back, if you saw our Twitter, we're going to talk about some more NFL. And the big news going around here is Richie Incognito suspended indefinitely. NFL is still reviewing it. The Miami Dolphins still reviewing it. Rumors saying that he might not play another down in the NFL. And Jonathan Martin also took a leave of absence.
Yeah.
So what are the latest developments we have here, James?
I just this happened 35 minutes ago, reported by the New York Daily News, that the headline is Dolphins coaches told Richie Incognito to toughen up Jonathan Martin. Now, I'm not sure, I don't think it was all about, hey, make this guy,
right?
Leave the team. I mean, you can call in with your 3
cents?
With your thoughts at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Call in. Let us know about how you're feeling about Richie Incognito, this whole bullying situation in NFL locker rooms. But yeah, Dolphins coaches told Richie Incognito to toughen up Jonathan Martin. I don't think they meant to this extent.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Management never wants a player to get to this point where you've gotten them down to the bare bones. They need to see a therapist, and they never want to play in the NFL again, because you're playing in the NFL, you're a tremendous athlete, and every single team in the NFL has a chance to win any day of the week, any weekend, any given Sunday. And for this to happen, I think it calls to action people to examine some things that are happening in society that are very important. That they do follow the backdrop and are there, but a lot of times they need that platform. And there's been cases, there's been situations that have called to things such as racism and bullying.
Yeah.
And pinpointing a group of people because of something like that. And with this is important because as good teammates, and that's kind of the dimension of the locker room. People a lot of times will do it. They'll pick on the rookie. They'll say, pick the pads up. Or they'll be like hazing as a level of endearment to the team to make you feel welcome afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, you got the bullpen guys out in baseball with the princess backpacks bringing candy out to the bullpen or whatever. I mean, that's rookie hazing. In training camps, sometimes the football players tie the rookies to the field goal posts with duct tape or whatever. No, that's hazing. But calling up the rookie's phone, telling him that you're gonna, cause harm to his family and smack his mama across the face, that's a little bit more than hazing.
That's horrible because the NFL is unforgiving enough physically. That's why they put in bye weeks, and that's why a lot of players are so adamant that, like, no, you're not going to expand the season. You're not going to go from us playing 16 games in an 18-week season to playing 18 games and eliminating 2 preseason games. There's a reason why they don't want to do that.
Right.
Because they put up with the physical toll. Now, for people who this is foreign to, realize this. On top of that, and on top of the head injuries people are sustaining, do you think with your own teammate, you got to create something extra for a young man or even a young woman in another sport, any individual, another obstacle beyond their own fears that they got to overcome? How does that make them tougher when they've got to worrying about the team and the playbook? I think that's one of the most self-sabotaging things you can possibly do. You, as a team, it's a fraternity, And for some women's teams, it's a sorority.
And this is not even the average play we're talking about here. This is Richie Incognito. He already had a trouble past himself.
Yeah, he was known to play dirty in the NFL. Of course, they're both offensive linemen. They're both in the trenches. A lot of things go on in those trenches that no man lives to tell the tale about. But, I mean, it's tough. Sorry to cut you off, Shay, but it's tough to work in the trenches as offensive linemen. The offensive linemen, they're supposed to be that group that
they stick together.
Yeah, their common goal is to defend that quarterback, and then after they do a good job of that, they all go out to dinner together. And instead, this guy, Incognito, is, sticking with him. They were right next to each other, too. They were both on the left or right side. I forget which one.
A lot of pictures, they're all together.
Yeah. So
their positions are right next to each other.
Yeah, so you got these guys who are supposed to be, united as a wall to protect the quarterback. One of them's getting bullied by the other one, and one of them's just like, I can't do this anymore. I need.
Because in a real workplace, if you're harassed to that level, you leave.
Yeah.
Or they get fired, and you talk to your boss in human resources, and something is done about it. They're given warnings, and what they actually do, it beats me because people don't do it, or it doesn't get that far.
Right. Yeah.
But for someone to be put in that situation that drives you to that point, it also makes you question management and the leadership on the squad. And I believe Richie Incognito was even part of that leadership foundation, correct?
I mean, yeah, he's a veteran. He's been around the league for a long time. And so he should be one of the guys, especially on the offensive line, to step up and, show what to do on the trenches for this rookie player. He was a rookie in 2012, and so he was supposed to, kind of be a leader for him, and instead he's a bully.
So I'm sorry, Shay, I'm going to pose this question to both of you. Cognito will be reprimanded, and what will happen will happen. But does something further need to be done to the Miami Dolphins organization to prevent, if you did not pick up on this, and you could not keep your players in line at a veteran level to be good to their fellow teammate, does the NFL need to step in and mandate policies with the mental health? Not even beyond what happens to them physically because of their mental health, but to make sure that there's a safe place, like an office, where people aren't harassed like that. Because people say in sports it's part of the game. You get on one another, you joke with one another. But I think he overstepped the line here. Does something more need to be done beyond the player? Does management need to re-examine when you say to toughen up someone? This is the clear lines of what you're not supposed to do.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't know, because this is the first happenstance that this has happened.
It's kind of a precedent, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a precedent. I mean, of course the players don't want a league official to be in the locker room, making sure nobody is being mean to everybody else. I mean, they don't want that. They don't want to be supervised 24/7. But I mean, if this continues to be a problem, that might be something that the NFL might have to do. But of course, Incognito is suspended. He's not getting his pay for these games that he's suspended about. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the NFL does, if they do anything, or if they'll just leave the Dolphins to it.
And I'll tell you, I can understand why. First off, this game is stressful enough. Our prayers and wishes are with the families of John Fox and Gary Kubiak, who the past 2 weeks have both dealt with some health ailments.
Yeah.
And that even goes to show from the coaching perspective, and I can't even imagine, because you're running a franchise, and that's a 24/7 job, and it's dealing with management. So it's even beyond your own performance, but it's other people's, which comes with the head coach job. That's how stressful the NFL is.
Yeah.
We need to re-examine and say, well, the NFL does. We don't need to. It's their job.
Right.
We're going to tell them, and we're going to call them out, that they've got to do a better job when it comes to keeping people safe and creating that environment where if you really think you're a brotherhood and you're going to do that powwow after the game, and you're going to go hoorah, then you better live up to it. And even when you're during the practice time, treat each other like real people and don't tear someone down so they're stuck in a situation like this.
If there is more developments, I say the NFL should look into it because, as we said, we just got the news 35 minutes ago that the Miami Dolphins, they told Incognito to toughen Jonathan Martin up.
They may be complicit. They may be complicit in this thing where they're kind of accomplices in this thing, even though they indirectly didn't maybe want this method to be done.
Or they could have meant hey, be a spotter when he benches however many pounds he benches or something like that. They could have meant be his gym partner,
right.
or they could have been like, kind of push his buttons, kind of push him a little bit.
So what does quote unquote tougher mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
When we said tougher, we want him to take him into the weight room.
Maybe. I mean,
that's like complete ignorance, I guess, on their part.
Well, I don't know. When I was reading the first developments of this, and they said when Jonathan Martin took a leave of absence is when he sat in the cafeteria with the other offensive linemen, and once he sat down, they all got up and left Jonathan Martin alone. And then that's when Jonathan Martin took his leave of absence. Just looking at that was like high school to me. Like, really? Like, that's just
they're grown men. They're professionals.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? You ever seen A Few Good Men? Movie with Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson. You got Kevin Bacon in there too.
No, I haven't actually.
You Can't Handle the Truth. That movie? Yeah. Well, the whole premise of that movie was that, these two guys were ordered to kind of haze this one guy because he couldn't keep up with the running or whatever they had to do in Cuba or wherever they were for the military. And, they were ordered to do it, but it turns out they killed him. And so, they were I'm sorry if nobody's seen it. It's a great movie. Go out and watch it. But they were innocent because they were ordered to do this by their superior officer. Now, let's say the Miami Dolphins coaching staff, toughen this guy up, kind of haze him a little bit, make sure he doesn't miss another practice, because that's according to what this report is saying from the Daily News. That's what happened. He missed a voluntary workout, and so they're like, listen, go toughen him up. So maybe that's what happened, and it just kind of went too far. I mean, of course he's not dead. He's not dead. There's no court case here.
Yeah, but
like A Few Good Men, but it could have been kind of like that.
Of course.
But Incognito, they said he had made a death threat to him, saying, quote,
yes, he has.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
But let's just go to, not even Incognito in the NFL, he's been causing problems. Let's go back to his college career. In Nebraska, he was convicted of misdemeanor assault and was suspended at the team at least 2 times before transferring to Oregon, where he got kicked out before he even did a single practice. And that's saying something here. And then we go to the preseason where Antonio Smith got suspended by the NFL for swinging a helmet at Richie Incognito. It showed in the video that Antonio Smith was the aggressor, but now looking back at it now in hindsight, Incognito might have something to do with it.